Back in the 1990s, using the internet was frustrating. Finding information online often meant scrolling through endless directories, clicking random links, and hoping you eventually found what you needed. Search engines existed, but most were slow, messy, and inaccurate. The internet was growing rapidly, but nobody had figured out how to truly organize it. That all changed with two university students. In 1995, Larry Page and Sergey Brin met at Stanford University in California while studying computer science. They had very different personalities and often debated with each other, but they shared one important thing in common: an obsession with technology and the future of the internet. At the time, search engines ranked websites mainly by counting keywords. Larry Page believed there had to be a smarter system. He came up with an idea. What if websites could be ranked based on how many other websites linked to them? The logic was simple. If many important websites linked to a page, that page was probably useful and trustworthy. Together, Page and Brin began building a research project called Backrub. The system analyzed links between websites and ranked pages based on relevance and authority. This ranking method later became known as PageRank, the technology that would become the foundation of Google search. As the project improved, they realized they were building something far bigger than a school assignment. Originally, the founders wanted to call the company Google, a mathematical term meaning the number 1 followed by 100 zeros. But during registration, the name was accidentally written as Google. They decided to keep it. In 1998, Google officially launched. The company started inside a rented garage owned by Susan Wojcicki in California. Fun fact, Susan would later become the CEO of YouTube years later. Google's early servers were even built using colorful Lego blocks because the founders needed a cheap way to hold hard drives together. Despite having limited money and resources, the search engine quickly became popular because it was different from everything else online. Other websites were crowded with ads, news, weather boxes, flashing banners, and pop-ups. Google was simple, just a logo and a search bar, and people loved it. As more users discovered Google, the company grew rapidly. Millions of searches were happening every day, and eventually, people stopped saying search online and started saying just Google it. The company soon expanded far beyond search. Google Images launched after massive demand for online pictures. Then came Google News, organizing stories from around the world into one place. In 2004, Google introduced Gmail. At the time, email services gave users only tiny amounts of storage space, but Gmail launched with 1 gigabyte of free storage, which sounded unbelievable back then. Because Gmail launched on April 1st, many people thought it was an April Fool's joke. It wasn't. That same year, Google became a public company. Its stock market launch instantly turned Larry Page and Sergey Brin into billionaires. But Google's biggest moves were still ahead. In 2005, the company launched Google Maps and Google Earth, changing the way people traveled forever. Suddenly, anyone could explore streets, cities, and even satellite images directly from a computer. Then came one of the most important acquisitions in internet history. In 2006, Google bought YouTube for $1.65 billion. At the time, critics thought Google massively overpaid for a small video website that wasn't even profitable yet. But that decision changed the internet forever. YouTube became the world's biggest video platform, creating entire careers, industries, and a completely new generation of creators. Without that acquisition, online entertainment today would look very different. Around the same time, Google made another risky move. The company quietly purchased a small mobile startup called Android. That decision allowed Google to enter the smartphone industry just as Apple launched the iPhone. Soon, the tech world became a battle between Android and Apple. Today, Android powers billions of smartphones worldwide and became the world's most widely used mobile operating system. In 2008, Google released Chrome. At the time, internet browsers were slow, unstable, and outdated. Chrome focused on speed, simplicity, and security. Within just a few years, Chrome became the world's most popular web browser. By the 2010s, Google was no longer just a search company. It had become a technology empire. The company expanded into artificial intelligence, cloud computing, smart home devices, self-driving cars, wearable technology, and much more. Google even experimented with futuristic ideas like Google Glass, a smart wearable device years ahead of its time. Not every project succeeded. Google also experienced major failures. Products like Google+, Google Wave, and Google Stadia failed to compete with rivals. But those failures showed something important about the company. Google was always willing to experiment and take risks. As Google grew, so did concerns around privacy, data collection, and monopoly power. Critics questioned how much information the company collected from users. Governments around the world launched investigations and lawsuits against Google over advertising dominance and anti-competitive behavior. Still, despite controversies, Google continued growing at an unbelievable scale. In 2015, Google restructured itself under a new parent company called Alphabet. This allowed the business to manage its expanding number of projects more efficiently.
Sundar Pichai later became CEO, leading the company into a new era focused heavily on artificial intelligence. Today, Google is one of the largest and most powerful technology companies on Earth. Its products are used daily by billions of people. Google Search handles billions of searches every single day. YouTube has become the largest video platform in the world. Android runs on billions of phones. Chrome dominates web browsing. Google Maps guides people across entire cities and countries. Gmail became one of the world's biggest email platforms. And Google Drive stores massive amounts of digital information globally. What started as a university research project inside a garage became a company worth trillions of dollars. Google didn't just change the internet, it changed human behavior itself. People no longer memorize information the same way. Students learn differently. Businesses advertise differently. Travel changed. Communication changed. Entertainment changed. Even language changed. Today, when people want answers, they don't say search the internet. They simply say Google it.
And now, Google is entering its next major chapter, artificial intelligence. With AI tools, smarter search systems, and growing competition from companies like Microsoft and ChatGPT, the future of the internet is changing once again. But no matter what happens next, Google's impact on the modern world is impossible to ignore. From a tiny garage startup to one of the most influential companies in human history, Google completely transformed how humanity accesses information. And the story is still far from over. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.